Hello. Mike Rondo here. I'm back after my little ghost hunting investigation, which turned up absolutely nothing. Smoking a little autumn evening in my handsome gentleman pipe here, that is, as I affectionately call it, a little nose warmer. This video, it's more, well, it's me laughing at Redcoats, and I'll leave a link in my description. He made a shed of, what did he call it? The shed of, oh shoot, I want to say solitude because I'm so used to saying it. Serenity, that's what he called it. The shed of serenity. And it made me laugh because obviously I got the shed of solitude here, and it made me laugh, and I got to thinking about things because he mentioned another gentleman, and I got to check that gentleman's channel out as well, who does something, I think in his garage, I think he said. And I got to thinking, I'm like, you know, the shed is like a perfect place for it, or the garage for smoking. Now, I know I've had people, or would assume, by the way, I got to apologize. In that video, I just started because I just took a deep breath. In the last video, I was walking up and down hills, so I was kind of out of breath, and I sounded like Darth Vader. So I apologize. I probably got to get into better shape, but in any case, you know, I was supposed to make some afternoon coffee for this video, but I didn't do that. So in any case, doesn't matter. I meant to do that because this is going to be morning coffee afternoon edition, and that just went out the window because I came out here and I just started recording and I forgot all about that. But anyway, so I got to thinking about sheds and garages and smoking pipes and everything. Now this, as I was trying to say, this is very the Van Gogh room with George Bruno, if you will. And that's kind of a tribute to that, those old videos he used to do that I loved. Nothing wrong with his new stuff. It's just, you know, it is what it is. I don't mind. But the old stuff, what he did in the shed, I love. And the reason why this became a thing, and I've said it before in the past, but I'll talk about it now, because I want to talk about sheds and garages and having your other space to kind of smoke and contemplate and read and whatnot. I think it's very important to have your own little, you know, spot in the universe where no one can bother you. In the old days, at the childhood home I grew up, I lived there for a while, and I was smoking cigars, mostly in the summer. I wasn't into pipe smoking then, but I never had a place in the winter to go to. I had a shed, but it wasn't like this, not like this. It was a plastic shed or whatever, and it just, to get to it would have been a pain in the ass and everything. And so I'd go in the garage occasionally after I had snowblowed or, you know, was just chilling out. I would sit in the garage or stand in the garage and kind of have a cigar, and that was all right. But it just wasn't ideal, and I didn't think about it. It was still a garage. You couldn't put I could put a lawn chair down there to sit, but it wasn't that great. It was a one-car garage, so you know it didn't work so well. But it was still a space that I could have. But the only problem with the garage, it was attached to the house. The smoke would go up. And I didn't want to do that, get the smoke in the house, cigar smoke. Pipe smoke's a little different. But moved here, and the past couple of years, I've gotten into cigar smoking, but I always typically do cigar smoking in the summer. It's kind of a summer thing for me, which I think for most of us, it's kind of a summer thing. But don't get me wrong, people, I mean, I'll have a cigar in the winter or whatever, and especially now with my shed here. So last year I was getting into pipe smoking, and I got into pipe smoking around August of last year. And I needed a place to be. I'm like, well, I'm enjoying this, and pipe smoking is kind of a winter thing. Especially around Christmas time, you know, Christmas carols and all that stuff, you know, the Bing Crosby pipe. I'm thinking I want to do all that, and I was like, well, I gotta do something about that. So this ended up being my spot, and as you can see, it's evolved over time. I got the little fireplace here that throws off heat. I'm not doing that right now. The speaker right now is playing Crackling Fire for us. I don't know if you can hear that, but well, let me do this. Show you the secret to my, see? So we get the fire going. Adds to the ambiance. I got my lanterns, my shelves, my books and everything. It's pretty cool. Now, if you saw the other part of the shed, maybe I'll show this another day. It's a disaster. I got a workbench I got to clean off because I'd like to do some kind of tabletop stuff. But in any case, I needed a place to be in the winter, and this was ideal and perfect, and I think that's important. And even as Redcoat pointed out in his video, is like, well, I kind of need a place in the winter to go and smoke my pipes and everything. I can do it downstairs in the cellar or whatever, but the smoke, again, trap goes upstairs and stuff. It's good to be away from the house, and a shed is just the perfect, ideal place to smoke a pipe. It's also a humbling place to contemplate, right? It's very rustic, if you will. It's very not fancy. There's not much to distract you. I mean, unless you really like looking at tools and whatnot, but like ghost stories that I've been sharing, which is great. And more of those will be coming on the way, I hope, from other subscribers, viewers, or people who just happen to come about my videos, my ghost videos. I hope more of that come out. But like that, I'd love to see more people talk about their sheds or garages or their space, wherever their space is where they smoke their pipe or cigar or tobacco, I should say. I'm curious. Curious to see the story behind it. I think the common one's got to be like me, where you need a place in the winter where you can smoke a pipe and kind of be left alone, away from everybody. And this shed allows me to do that. And now it's allowing me to do my YouTube stuff, which is pretty cool. So this place is pretty special to me. But I don't know, maybe some people just want that. I'd love to see a fancy shed, and I was gonna try to do that with this shed when I first moved here, and I wanted to make it into a podcast studio thing somehow, but to retrofit this would be a pain in the ass. But I'm curious to see someone that took a shed, remodeled it into this like a man cave. You know, you got a bar, you got whatever and stuff. That would be pretty cool to see that. If anyone has any of those, I've seen a few online in YouTube and stuff, but I'm wondering if anyone in the pipe community here has done any of that. It's funny because before I did the shed, I was thinking of things. I'm like, well, what if I add a sunroom onto the house and kind of like a deck, and it's closed in? That wouldn't be bad. But I'm like, even on those really cold nights or whatever, it wouldn't be great because you'd have the screens in or whatever, and smoke would still get in the house. But this just works perfectly, and it's great. And I love putting up my knickknacks and goofy things, and I liked seeing Redcoat. He had the cat, which is part of the, I guess, the toilet brush. You put the toilet brush in that. We got to come up with a name for the cat there, Redcoat. And of course, now he's got a picture because he uploaded the video. Then there was an issue with it. And now he's reloaded the video. He uploaded it again, and of course now he's got a thing in front of the thing. So that looks pretty cool. And he's even got a little fireplace too. I thought that was a nice touch. Because you could just throw any kind of heater in there, right? Last year I still have my propane heater, which I'll use. That helps keep my feet warm and rises some of the heat up. This thing throws out pretty good heat. There was a bit of a chill when I came in here. Now it's warmer outside than in the shed. I came in, I cranked that on, and it took the chill out of the air in here. And of course I got my candle over here. I don't know if you guys can see. Let me see if I can. There we go. My warm pipe tobacco candle. So yeah, but he could have gotten any kind of like heater like I did last year. I had that was in here, and I had an electric space heater that would turn around and everything. And this year I was looking through and I'm like, you know what? I want to get something that looks like a fireplace. I think it'll add to this. And then of course got the fake fireplace thing going here, and it's the perfect size to fit on here. I lose a little bit of space on my shelf here, but that's all right. That doesn't bother me. But I think it looks great like this. I wish it had its own sound effect and the flame was more realistic. It looks okay on the camera, but when you're seeing it in person, it's a little iffy. It's a little tacky, if you will. But it's the Shed of Solitude. It's not meant to be glamorous, but more unique is what I'm going for in this shed. But it was cool to see Redcoat have a little fireplace. And an interesting one. It's kind of not like mine. Mine's like a log cabin-y kind of wood stove type thing. He's got this round, futuristic kind of Jetsons kind of fireplace thing. Or Doctor Who-ish, if you will. By the way, Redcoat, the 11th Doctor, I think it's the 11th Doctor with the scarf and the hat, is still the best Doctor of all time. That's the one I grew up with. I don't really watch it now. Yeah. But it's great to have a shed and a pipe. So if you guys can do it, find a way to get a shed, or find a way to have a location like a shed, and just even if you have to buy one. I don't know if one of those little plastic ones, even if you had to buy that just to shelter yourself from the cold and the wind and the rain and the snow for the winter, it's not a bad thing. I mean, that the great thing is this one being a wooden shed, and I come out here when it's windy as hell out there and snowing. I come in here, it's nice and cozy. Don't get me wrong, there's times where it's pretty damn cold. It's like 10 degrees out there, and it warms up to maybe 20 in here with the heaters, which will be interesting this year. I got this one, and I got the propane heater there, and maybe if I get one more, just I don't know, if I get a lantern. I want to get a lantern up here. You guys probably wouldn't see it. I've mentioned this before, where the heat kind of bounces down on top of me. But we'll see. We'll see. I like my lanterns that I got here, the electric ones. They're pretty cool and whatnot. So there's really no point to this video other than talking about my love for my shed and me loving seeing the other people doing a shed for smoking. But I think I got a squirrel trying to make a nest in here somewhere, and that ain't gonna fly. Bad enough when I had the hornets, and I had to spray them out. I guess other news, I ordered from Cornell and Deal, and there's another company they partnered with, and this was on smoking pipes. It was an exclusive that went live. It's called the Haunting, which I thought was fitting. So that'll be coming in soon, I hope. And I'll smoke that and give a review on that. I've never had it. First time I even heard of it, so I ordered some of that. Just one tin, nothing fancy. Just want to try it out. Yeah. I don't know when I'll smoke that. Hopefully I'll get my special pipe in this week. I really, really hope. Otherwise, Tony from Rhode Island, I'm going to have to do the Sleepy Hollow review with my favorite pipe, I think. I might have to punt by the weekend and kind of do a review that way. And then when it comes in, I'll kind of, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm holding out hope because I'd love to do the review of the pipe and the tobacco Sleepy Hollow, but I don't know if, that's life. It never goes as planned. Well, I'll throw this out there to the pipe smokers out there. What's your ideal pipe smoking room? Is it to be in the house? I mean, ideally, I would love a separate room that's like a Sherlock Holmes room where you got your chair, you got your library, you got your pipe smoking and your cigar smoking, and kind of have, like that kind of room would be pretty ideal for me. Although from to there to back again, he's got a nice little setup too, and it's inside the house. That looks pretty cool. I admire him for that. I mean, that's a dedicated room. I think it's Jeremy Sayers. He has another cigar room, very similar to that. And there in Tobacco has a great chair. I love his chair. This chair is not bad. It's an Amazon special because it was going in the shed. I didn't want to, have a $1,000 chair inside of a shed. That just wasn't going to fly. So I went with this, and it's okay. It makes a lot of squeaky noises, so it sounds like I'm passing gas when I'm talking, but that's not what's going on. But what is your ideal? Is your ideal, let's say if you're a pipe smoker or a cigar smoker and you're going into the winter this year, what would you do? Would you like to get a shed like this, like a setup like this, or would you like to do what Redcoats did, kind of convert his garden shed? It's small, but it does its job. Would you go down to one of the big box stores and get a small plastic shed just to sit in? And I know one of my buddies in Rhode Island did do that when he smokes his cigars. A little shed. He's got a little heater, and he listens to the ball games all the time. So people can do that as well. But I'm just curious, what would you guys ideally would you do? I don't know. I think ideally, or the dream, or at least for everybody, is to have a dedicated room in the house that's kind of the leather chair, the little fireplace, books on the wall, pipes hanging up, like there in Tobacco. He has that. So I guess the bar's set right there for what you want. But I don't know. The shed is very appealing and whatnot. So I don't know. I'm curious what you guys would do if you could have your ideal smoking room. Would it be a shed in the room? Like I would love to do is like with podcasting, the studio shed. It's built. It's like a little mini house, but it would be set up for podcasting. Would you want to do something like that for your pipe smoking? That would be interesting. I would think of that. I need a new property where I have the main house, and then I have all these little buildings. One for pipe smoking, one for podcasting, and maybe one for writing. I don't know. But anyway, I've rambled on long enough. Thank you guys for joining me. Sorry about the earlier video. Wasn't that entertaining, to be honest. There was no ghost, unfortunately. I was out of breath. Sounded like I was Darth Vader and everything. But and anyway, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining. Take care.